Class is in session. Welcome to the Hitting the Book Show, Monday, April the 6th. Ian Cameron, Connor Mack with you. Hope everyone had a good Easter. And we are back, and we're here ready to break down. Well, we're going to go through NHL. We're going to go through NBA, MLB at the beginning of the show. And then we'll Vanessa Williams this show and save the best for last, which is, of course, the national championship game in college basketball between UConn and Michigan. We'll get to that at the end of the show. Looking forward to that. We'll start with the NHL. It's a very small slate, 4 games, a couple of really good ones, though. Tampa, Buffalo battling for first in the Atlantic Division. I like Buffalo a little bit in that game tonight. Seattle, Winnipeg. I think I lean Jets. I just don't like the price. Nashville, LA, I like over in that game because the Kings just can't play any defense right now. That's becoming pretty clear with what we've seen from them in recent games. By the way, both meetings with the Predators and Kings this year have gone past regulation, so it could be a good draw shot in that game with the Predators and the Kings as well. Lean Nashville as well. I mean, I'm not excited about trusting the Kings with what I've seen defensively from them. And I think I like San Jose's team total over 3.5 against Chicago, maybe a first period puck line too. I expect a strong response from the Sharks against, a weaker Chicago team, with San Jose coming off that disappointing loss to Nashville on Saturday, which is, by the way, 15 straight losses for the San Jose Sharks against the Nashville Predators with that loss to the Predators on Saturday. Pretty amazing that they've lost 15 straight times to the same team. C-Mac, anything you like here on the ice for a Monday?
Yeah, god damn this fucking Cox. You're just yelling about it. Cox Communications. Fuck you. All right. Yeah, I like Buffalo here too. At home at this price. I like the Sharks too. Yeah, I've been thinking about the team total, the puck line, or even the -1 as well. At home there. And I'm staying off Jets, but you talked about it. The price is a little big. I don't want to be laying -1 with the Jets, even though they've been playing better of late. And Seattle's kind of hit the skids.
Big time.
Big time. Yeah, the last couple of weeks, really. So, yeah, that's it. And I don't mind Nashville. Talked about in that game. They're just Kings to me are a strange team.
Strange team, and a little bit of issues in the pipes and on defense right now. With that LA Kings team, but a huge game there as Nashville and LA are tied for the last wild card spot in the Western Conference. All right, NBA, we shipped over to the association. We've only got a small slate here. Orlando, Atlanta, Memphis, San Antonio, Portland. I like a side in all 5 games tonight, and those are the sides for me. Magic, I think the Detroit flat spot after clinching first in the East. It means the game matters a lot more to Orlando. Atlanta has won, 13 straight at home. Again, I think they can take care of New York. New York just continues to not be great consistently on the road, so I think I like the Atlanta Hawks there in that one. Memphis, Cleveland hasn't covered it as a double-digit favorite in 6 straight games when they've been laying double digits. So that's enough for me to take Memphis. It's also Memphis's final home game. So I expected a little better effort from the Grizzlies here. I mean, they've had a bad season. They've still got a lot of injuries, but I think they'll play hard tonight. And that might be enough to cover because Cleveland has just been so awful laying double digits. And then San Antonio in a bounce-back spot after losing that thriller against Denver in overtime on Saturday. Spurs are a great bounce-back team. I don't think Philadelphia is in their class either. And if you look at Philadelphia, I know they have a lot to play for, but they haven't beaten really many good teams of late. So I think the Spurs lay in the 8.5. I like it. And then Portland, the opposite of that San Antonio-Denver game on Saturday, where Denver won in overtime, and you got Denver maybe in a letdown spot tonight against Portland. And that Blazer team, they're a tough team. They're playing better defense right now. I think plus the points with the Blazers is worth a look in that game. C-Mac, how about you in the NBA for Monday?
Yeah, I like a lot. I like the Hawks. I like Memphis as well. God damn, this team. I can't believe I'm on them. I just was on the Pacers last night. I don't think they should be laying
against Cleveland because Cleveland's a shitty double-digit.
Yeah, they're just
constantly.
They're just laying this big number. I thought about even splitting it or just going first half with Memphis. And you're right, San Antonio, I like them early. first half. And I'm looking at Portland. I've been going through that game today. I think it's a spot that they could – it's kind of just a tough one for the Nuggets, even though they've been playing a lot better of late. What have they won?
No, they've been playing well, no question.
Yeah,
they haven't covered as bigger favorites. A lot of these games as bigger favorites, though. They haven't always covered Denver.
Yeah, well, that's why we have these massive totals.
Yep.
I mean, with their defense still give up points. So Portland has struggled in Denver at times, but I think they can hang around.
They've been destroyed by Denver 2 games in a row, but I think now it's a little different. Like, I think Denver, that was such a big win against San Antonio for them. I think
it was huge.
A little bit, lackadaisical tonight, Denver. That's the word I think they'll be.
Yeah. So I was looking at, there's still a few 8s out there, so I might have to pull a trigger on this if I want. I'd rather have the 8 here than the 7.5 in that game.
Good stuff. On we go. Keep this brisk pace because we want to get to the national championship game. We'll go in depth, side total, player props for Michigan, UConn in just a bit. But first, the MLB slate, and we'll just rip through this in chunks rather than obviously after today. We'll go through every MLB game, every game. Take our time with each game. This one we'll go through it in chunks. We've got a slew of games in the 6 o'clock hour. San Diego, Pittsburgh. I don't want to go against Pittsburgh. I don't trust German Marquez, but now it's -135. It's pricey now on Pittsburgh. Maybe Pirates team total over because I think they could hit San Diego and Marquez in that game. But definitely lean Pittsburgh there. Cincy, Miami, I like the over. I don't trust Williamson and Junk. Williamson was really rough in his first start for the Reds earlier this season. I think we could see some runs there with the Reds and the Marlins. So keep in mind the Marlins got in back to Miami pretty late because they had to finish that damn Yankees series yesterday late because of the rain delay in New York. So I like the over there. The bullpen could be a little depleted too for Miami in that one. St. Louis, Washington's probably another over. I don't like Palante all that much. We'll see about Zach Little here for Washington. He's kind of up and down. I kind of think both teams could score some runs there in that one. Look, I'm going to take Milwaukee in the other 6 o'clock game, CMAC, against Boston, Woodruff and Bayo. I just think Boston's got to prove it to me first. They stink right now. They're 2-7. They're not hitting. The bullpen's not been as good. Woodruff's capable. Woodruff shut down Boston a couple years ago, the last time he faced them. Bayo didn't look great, even though I have high hopes for him. I didn't like the way he pitched in his first start, so I think it's ride the hot, fade the cold. The hot is Milwaukee. The cold is Boston. So I took the Brewers there. But CMAC, that swatch of early games, what are you liking?
These early games, I don't have much at all. I kind of lean the Pirates, but that price, no way. Same thing with Cleveland. Some spot it's minus what?
Oh yeah, I missed that.
115.
Yeah, I lean.
Yeah,
I like Bybee a little more than I like Waka currently.
Yeah. Low total here, 7.5, 7. But yeah, I think Washington could win here. You talked about might be some runs, and I'm on it. CJ Abrams here, 4 for 9. His RBI plus 200. He's been hot lately. I think this is a good price. He's hitting 5th. He's at the top of the order, so I'll ride him. I think he's got 3 bombs too already. So yes. Plus 200 on his ribby. I'll put that out too. Give it a like.
Good. No doubt, and that's a good thing.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a good prop because C.J. Abrams has been swinging a hot bat here early in the season, no doubt for the Nationals. All right, let's move on we'll do this one on its own because, look, it is a World Series rematch here. L.A. Dodgers, Toronto Blue Jays, first of a 3-game series. Maybe for the Blue Jays, facing the Dodgers again is going to be what it takes to wake them up from their slumber because that was a rough week for them. My goodness, they lost 2 of 3 at home to the Rockies. They got swept in Chicago by the White Sox. Not only that, but they've been battling a flu bug in the clubhouse among the players, and they've got a bunch of injuries now. Kirk and all kinds of other people got hurt the last week, so it's been rough here on this Jays team. 4-5, Dodgers 7-2. Robleski and Max Scherzer here at the Rogers Center tonight. I like the over here more than anything. Scherzer has had some success against them, and he actually didn't pitch that bad against them in the World Series last year, but there's also some players that have done some damage, and Freddie Freeman stands out. It's a home run prop I like actually too. Freddie Freeman here against Max Scherzer because he's done some damage against him in the past. We'll see what we get out of Robleski. He's a guy that's capable, and the Blue Jays just aren't hitting right now, but I do get the sense that from a pure matchup standpoint, Jays do match up decently against Wrobleski. You think maybe tonight could be a night they could get some of their bats going. And if so, I think at 8.5 with where this total was, although it has gone to 9 in some spots, I think we could get over this total here with the Dodgers and the Jays tonight. It's hard. Like the value says there could be some on Toronto, but I don't think I can back them right now. A lot of injuries, sickness running through the team, not playing great ball right now. So even though I think, like I said, Jays is a home dog, you're tempted to take it. I don't think I'm going to. C-Mac, what do you think?
I know. That's how I feel with them, and even the total. Like I don't know. I think we could get runs because I think like in the end the Dodgers get to Scherzer. He looked good in his first start. Wrobleski had a pretty good spring. He got hit around in that start he just had against Cleveland though.
Yep.
A tad, but walks really got him. Singles, he had the bases loaded. He had 0-2 count. Forget on who. God damn, we have a 0-2. Anyways, he walked him. he gave up a go. He walked him. Who gives a shit? In the end, he walked in a run. But Hoskins, maybe it was. So I forget. Anyways, yeah. So it's just tough for me. I think the Blue Jays at this price, I want to take them. They just looked. I mean, was it? You talked about the sickness. Was it? Were they looking forward to it? I mean, I wish I was on the White Sox in all the games. You know, that's one.
It looks like this could be a good thing, though. They're playing the Dodgers. Maybe that wakes them up and gets them all pumped up and the adrenaline flowing again. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe because they definitely have seen the offense has just been horrible. They've been since the start of the year, even beating the A's. Those first few games wasn't great. They have been horrible with runners in scoring position. So in the end, as much as I kind of want the Jays, I'm going to stay off.
All right, we got 2 more games later on at 7 Eastern.
Blake should be going wild, too. Talking about Freeman. I'd still stick at Payoffs. This guy's red hot. I'd stick to a guy who's and he did this last year. I talked about 2 months were like all his home runs.
Right.
So, like, and we saw how cold he was in the playoffs last year. This guy could get a hit to save his life.
Yep.
But he is red hot. You talked about Freeman. Ohtani, 5 for 10 with the homer, of course. I mean, really just say Ohtani. So, yeah, just a couple props I was looking at there.
All right, next up, we've got Baltimore White Sox, Detroit, Minnesota. Over for me in the Baltimore White Sox game. I think there could be some runs. I'm not really trusting Young or Grant Taylor in that matchup. I'm going to take Detroit. It's just as simple as Minnesota's a favorite. I get it because it's Joe Ryan pitching for them. They suck right now. They're absolutely a terrible baseball team, the Twins. And I know Detroit hasn't gotten off to this rip-roaring start we hope for a team that should win this division, should be a playoff team, and maybe even an AL contender. But I think the price is cheap on Detroit, and I just think it's almost borderline laughable Minnesota's favored over anybody right now. So I took Detroit there. C-Mac, what do you think?
I like Detroit, too. Some of these guys have some good numbers. I looked at Carpenter here, too, or even Green. I just like the lefty versus him, and they have some good numbers, 4 for 8 with a homer. So I think the prop there. Don't think there's a ton of runs here. 7.5 is 7. But yeah, I like the Tigers at this price, plus 105, right around there.
All right, 8 o'clock Eastern, or 8 in the 8 o'clock Eastern hour, I should say. Seattle, Texas, Houston, Colorado. I always like backing my guy Gilbert often when he's a dog. It won't be easy for Seattle hasn't been hitting as much as we thought. Yesterday they did a little bit against the Angels, but you're right, their lineup's kind of underwhelmed early in the season, so that means it may not be easy against DeGrom, but I kind of think I like lean Mariners a little. Don't love it, but I lean Mariners a little bit there with Gilbert. It's a slight road underdog. The other game I like the over, Houston and Colorado. I think there could be a lot of runs. We're starting to see the Astros bats come to life. Feltner is a guy that's kind of a fade pitcher for me for the Rockies. Meanwhile, Bolton, we'll see how he fares. It's basically a spot start because Hunter Brown is on the IL here for the Astros. So that's why Bolton's coming in and getting this quote-unquote spot start, if you will, here for the Astros. So it's not exactly a guy I fully trust, especially at Coors. So I think there's runs in that game. C-Mac, what do you think?
I like the Rangers here a little bit. I like the under 8 in this game. I know Gilbert on the road, but I think we stay under this number. So 8, lean the Rangers. And that's it. Nothing for me on Houston, Colorado. I'm off. Should be runs.
There should
10
be.
and a
But
half.
it is high total. It is 10.5. But I think
Yeah,
we can
I
get
have
6.5. 6.5, 7.5. I still think we could get enough to get over that. All right, we got a couple of late games. I think just two, right? Two late games. Yeah, Philly and San Francisco, Atlanta and the Angels. And I'll throw it right to you. I don't have much. I
All right.
don't want to back San Francisco and Hauser, but I could only look at the Phillies, and I like the way Painter performed in his first start. But come on, I don't. I always get leery and fearful of backing those teams off a series in Colorado. It's crazy over the years that teams coming in off Colorado have sometimes struggled, especially that first game. So that kind of steered me off taking Philadelphia, but I do lean to them in that game. And then the other one I lean under with Angels and Braves. I mean, Sale and Soriano, they both pitched well so far this season. Could be runs few and far between, but I didn't get involved officially with either. CMAC, what do you think for the two late West Coast games?
I lean the Angels until the funk happens a little bit. When the bad 3-week month stretch or longer, everything kind of collapses. I think they're the value there. And the other, I just don't like this Giants team, at least right now.
Yeah.
But there's 8.5, under 8.5. But I lean the Giants. Too. I think this all the money on Philly here. This line hasn't really moved. It's gone down. I think the Giants are live. Under. Hauser at home.
Yeah, good stuff. I think there is value on the Angels. Because I looked at that, I'm like, the Angels are playing decent. That's a big plus price on them. Then I looked at the fact Sale is actually 3-0 in his career against the Angels and pitched really well, and he has well. So that's the one fear. But I don't disagree, though. Like I said, the Angels might have some early season of value for sure. All right, let's get to the national championship game. You've all been waiting for us to get to this point of the show. Michigan and UConn. We let us down on Saturday as far as the quality of the games. Well, UConn, Illinois was a decent game. Illinois got back into it in the second half, and it was pretty compelling finish to the game at least. It wasn't a great game, but at least you had some kind of drama down the stretch. Michigan, Arizona was just such a disappointment. I think a lot of people thought they were on the same playing field, and it looked like men against boys. Like Arizona looked like a C-class team compared to the A-class of Michigan on Saturday. It just turned into an ass-kicking from start to finish. And I deserve what I got in that game because I cashed with UConn, which was great. And I actually did have the over in the Michigan-Arizona game, so at least we hit that. But I did have Arizona. I talked about it on Friday. I couldn't have been more wrong because I said, guess what? Arizona can shut down the perimeter. They're a great perimeter defense, and Michigan bombed threes galore against them. I said
that did not happen.
I trust Jaden Bradley more than Elliot Cadeau at the point guard position in the point guard battle in that game, and that couldn't have been more wrong. Jaden Bradley gets 3 fucking fouls in the first 10 minutes, a non-factor, and Elliot Cadeau in the first 10 minutes couldn't have done anything wrong. He's dropping dimes, he's making shots, he's doing everything right. And so, it deserved what I got. Bad handicap with Arizona there in that game. But
this team hadn't played a game like that all year long.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just at the biggest stage. They were just horrible. I mean, everything kind of other teams hitting everything. They can't buy a shot. Bradley talked about. I thought we'll see. I mean, take out a couple ticky-tack there to fouls.
Yeah, I didn't love one of the calls in particular there. It was like, come on, man, this is freaking Final Four. Let's let them play a little bit, for goodness sake. But didn't always get that, unfortunately. But on we go to tonight. It's currently, I'm seeing 6.5, the prevailing number. Michigan 6.5 point favorites over UConn, 146 the total here in this game. You know what? I've got a lot to say on this game. So, CMAC, I'm going to let you have the floor first on this one. National championship game. I'll just say, just to preface what I'm going to get into after CMAC, I got cute with this game. I made 3 bets side and total, and I'm hoping to hit all 3. And I think I have a chance to hit all 3. And I'll explain my thinking in a moment with it. But, CMAC, first to you. What do you think for the Natty here tonight?
Real quick shout out to the chat. Everyone here, Nick Alvento, get this handy, my dude. The green, Chalk down, Thomas, what's going on? AJ, Richard, Jorge, Robert, what's going on? UConn money line. Yeah, so in this game, you talked about. Let's just go on next year. Team total. Michigan's going way up with that price. They've hit
I
it
actually like that value. I mean, and they have scored 90
for the price. I don't mind it. Yeah, I don't think they get it tonight, but yeah, that's crazy amount of value. I mean, what could go wrong? To me, it's just why would this total be a little bit higher? I mean, because I know UConn wants to slow this game down. So can they do that? And I think they have to get, obviously, Reed, old guy from Michigan, against his former team, involved. I think it's been the recipe for him to this whole tournament. And the defense has really stepped up, which was really, really good. It was just outside those top numbers we talked about, whether it's the top 20, 30, that all teams win national championship the last few years. They're going to have to hit big shots, though, threes. Caravan, they're getting Mullins. He was good. He's got to hit shots again tonight. But I think they can. The thing is, with Michigan on the other side, this team is stacked. And by the way, everyone's playing here tonight. Let's just get that out of the way. Right. Ball's in. Actually, he's in. I mean, his knee's messed up, right? Sprained, but he's in. So everyone's good to go here, at least. Maybe if they're not all the way healthy, they're playing. But yeah, the thing is, Michigan to me, I talked about before, it's been the best team in the country. I've talked about it a few times, I think. So, but I think this line was too high. It's just flat out. I mean, I thought this line would probably be 4.5. A little bit of disrespect to UConn. The thing is, if Michigan is hitting the threes like we just saw, this could be over, and they could have. But we have seen them get cold and have some problems throughout the year, especially that stretch which happens in the middle of conference season where they were just scoring unreal in non-conference, and we've seen this offense kind of come back to where they were, at the start of the year with everyone clicking, and they're really, really deep. But in the end, I think UConn can hang around here. Both these coaches are really, really good. In the which coach do you want? Take them both. But I think UConn is going to be whether they win, I'm not so sure, but I definitely think they can cover this number. I think there's too much Michigan. What could go wrong? You talked about you were worried about them last time, Val, that they played the perfect game. Well, they've just played another one. Like Michigan, these teams, again, they've just been playing unreal. They haven't really faced anything that's been in their way. And if they roll through again, I'll tip my hat to them. And, a lot of talk, maybe one of the best teams ever. We will see. But they have, of course, the great size, Mara. Here's a prop that I'm on, at least for Michigan, because I think he's going to fire 5 threes a game. And I got plus money, and that's Trey McKinney, over 1.5 threes. But, man, I got plus 110. Yeah, I think he made 4 in his last game, but he's a consistent shooter with a good percentage, and I think he's going to get some up. And at that, with just the 1.5 to get over that, I'll take it, because I think he's going to shoot 5 or 6. So I think he could can a couple. And he's a really good shooter, because when I was going through, there's not a ton of value. If we've been taking basically Reed, he keeps getting it. He got it again. I think he had 17 and 11. He's at 24.5
rebounds for him.
His points and rebounds. He's been getting it every game. Every game.
On that. Yeah.
Yes. Spoiler alert. He's been cashing on that every game. So UConn, the one thing we saw it in the first half against Duke, against a very good defense where they couldn't make any shots. Think there was some trouble, turnovers, and they got down. Now they came back, but I worry about that a little bit with them. But I think we get a better game. And by the way, if you like Michigan, you like them to cover it. Favorites have done well the last 25 years in the national championship. They've not only won, they've covered. Yep. So maybe this is a runaway here with Michigan. Best team in the country. But I talked about the prop that I'm on. These couple others I've been looking at, I might have smaller bets on. But I'm on UConn. I got 7.5. I got it a little bit earlier. Not crazy earlier today, but just a few hours ago. I know it's moved a little bit to 7, and now we're at 6.5. So I'm on UConn here. I think we can get that good basketball game. Someone bring it to Michigan. I think this is a team to do it.
Well, yeah, we're gonna have another blowout here. Yeah, can we have one compelling game, one thrilling game, one exciting finish?
Maybe not.
Yeah, let's see if UConn can deliver that. All right.
They do run some good sets when the offense is going well. It can have its
The problem
lapses.
is sometimes when they do run good sets, UConn, then they don't have the made basket to go with it, and they can go in droughts sometimes. That's where they run into issues. They better avoid the fucking droughts tonight. That's all I'll say.
Michigan is I mean, they're loaded. They're just bigger, badder than everyone, and get up. You know what I mean?
one 8-minute scoring drought for UConn tonight, because they've had these before, and that could take them right out of the game for good.
We saw it with Arizona. Yeah. They had those couple bad sorts. They kind of got back in that for to 5, and boom, another 13-3 run. It was just over. Yeah, there.
I agree with you about Dusty May. I mean, I'll get into the Dan Hurley track record, which is beyond ridiculous. It's so spectacular. But Dusty May will not take much of a backseat to Danny Hurley. I mean, Dusty May's done a great job. This is now in the Final Four for him for a second straight time after he took Florida Atlantic, to the Final Four a couple of years ago. But Hurley has been great. So here's what I mentioned. 3 bets side in total pregame. So I'm getting a little bit cute with this thing, but fuck, it's the final game, right? It's a tough game to handicap.
Fuck it.
Get creative with it, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. First of the 3 bets is exactly what C-Mac just mentioned. I am on UConn, and I did get +7.5. Okay, I cannot deviate from this Dan Hurley tournament track record. He is 19-3 against the spread overall in the NCAA tournament with UConn. That's insane. 19-3 against the spread as an NCAA tournament head coach. Not to mention a perfect 11-0 against the spread in this tournament in the Sweet 16 round and beyond. He has covered 11, all 11 in the Sweet 16 round and beyond. He knows how to handle the short turnaround. Short turnaround prep is significant. Dan Hurley's been here, done this before, having a prep on 24 hours, 48 hours, like he does here. He's as good as it gets with that. And that's not me saying Dusty May isn't, but this is just that Dan Hurley is spectacular at having his team as ready as possible in these spots, which is true. What else was I going to? Yeah, I mean, 11-0 against the spread here, NCAA tournament, Sweet 16 round and beyond. And another thing, too, he got the early game on Saturday against Illinois. And everyone talks about this every year. If you get the early game, you're done your press conferences by 9:30, 10 p.m. Eastern. You call it an early night. You can get a head start on the national championship prep. Meanwhile, the team that won the later game, in this case, Michigan against Arizona, you're doing the press conference thing, and you're not getting your night over until well after midnight. There is a little bit of an advantage prep-wise for UConn because they had the first game on Saturday instead of the second game. I know they talked about that a little bit on the TBS broadcast of the Final Four on Saturday. So that gives UConn a little bit of an advantage as well. So that track record is, and the way this UConn team is tough and resilient, is enough for me to take them +7.5, even though I'm petrified by the fact they're playing what looks like a runaway freight train here in this Michigan Wolverines team.
They roll when they sorry real quick because before this tournament, they had probably of course it's conference play, but those last 7 or 8 games, I mean, they had some losses. Of course, they lost to Purdue, but tight games to Wisconsin and Ohio State. Yeah, before that,
Purdue in the Big Ten tournament title game. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of kind of tighter games, and I think that could happen here. I mean, but if they shoot it, they did. It might. They could run away with it.
So I am on UConn +7.5, but I have very legit concerns about their defense. UConn, for as good as it's been, and slowing down UConn, slowing down Michigan, and slowing down the onslaught and the pace. The effort defensively was very good against Illinois on Saturday, but I watched very closely. It was good UConn defense, but Illinois did have their share of uncontested threes. They did have their share of layup opportunities around the basket, and they flat out missed them around the basket. They had some uncontested looks from 3, and just it didn't fall. Now, my concern is if you give those same kind of uncontested shots from 3 and opportunities to make easy bunnies and layups around the basket, you give Michigan those type of shots, they're far less likely to miss those type of clean looks from the perimeter and those opportunities in and around the basket to put it home. So that is something that does concern, because Illinois had a bunch of easy looks and just didn't fall. It's more likely to fall with Michigan tonight. So I still think with this Michigan team total at 75.5 that it can go over that. They've shattered this team total in every game. They've gotten a 90 in every game, and I don't expect them to get to 90 tonight, because UConn is going to compete defensively and be good enough defensively not to let them get that many points in my mind. But I still think Michigan can get high 70s here, especially if it's close late in the game and there's fouling involved. That I still think we can get Michigan to approach the 80 mark and at least into the high 70s here in this one. So I'm on that.
Well, it's finally moved, Amanda, this total. You know, it was stuck there. It's all over money. Finally up to 146.5.
And that was the third bet. Great segue, C-Mac, to the third bet, over 144.5. I took it. Now it's, again, be careful now. It's 146.5. It's moved. But the bottom line is 144.5. Every Michigan game has shattered this full game total too. 144.5. Way over every single time. Now, UConn's not going to want it to get that way. There's no question. But I keep going back in my mind to UConn early in the season, allowing 71 points at home to Arizona, an Arizona team that just got dismantled, pillar to post by Michigan. And so if UConn's allowing 71 to Arizona, it's probably at home. That game was in Storrs, Connecticut, too. You're probably going to let Michigan get to the mid-70s here, because that puts that Michigan definitely within range to get over this team total. And the way I see it, Michigan covers, the game's going to go over the total. It really is that simple. Michigan's going to cover the 7.5 or 6.5 as it is right now. The game's going to go over the total. I have this final score. If Michigan wins, and I'm not saying for sure Michigan's going to win, because I do give UConn a puncher's chance. And I don't think UConn's going to get blown out. But if Michigan wins, I definitely have 78-72, 77-71, 79-74, something like that in my line of sight as the potential final score. And so let's say it's any of those final scores, 78-72, 79-74 Michigan. You know what's going to happen if those are the final scores? I'm going to go 3-0 with these bets. And I think it's well within the realm of possibility. We could see something like 79-72, 78-74 Michigan. Close game. UConn covers. Michigan
barely over their team totals.
And the game goes over the full game total as well. So I think 2-1 or 3-0 with UConn plus 7.5. Michigan team total over 75.5. And Michigan UConn over. I think I can go 2-1 or at least, if not 3-0 with those. I feel good about it. So we'll see. That's kind of how I got the game flow in mind here for this one. It's unique. It's me getting a little cute with this game, but I think it's worth it, you know, in a game where it's.
I don't know about the over. I think everyone's on that. Michigan, nothing could go wrong here, right? Michigan scores 90 every game. This game goes over. I don't know. I think it goes. I look the other way.
It's not more so that I love the team total because Michigan's gotten to 90 and I expect them. No, I don't expect them to get 90, but I did expect after such a dominant win that Michigan's team total would be jacked up a little bit more than 75.5. You know, and it wasn't. And I think it's still at a reachable plateau here.
77. Oh, there's 76.5 out there. A little bit of juice.
Yeah. So, like I said, very, very fascinating to see how it plays out. But by the way, my favorite position of the three is UConn. It is. Because it's just riding the Hurley trend. But like I said, I am on all three. UConn plus the points, Michigan team total over and over. But I got it at 144.5. It has gone up a bit since then. My player props for this game, C-Mac, just to wrap it up before we get to best bets. I'm with you in theory on Trey McKinney. You're on the over 1.5 made threes. I'm on over 9.5 points, but same thought process that I think his offense is good. Like he's been getting to 10 points multiple times in this tournament.
I wouldn't go over 10. It's good you got the 9.5.
Yeah.
Because even though I thought about his points, but a couple threes and a couple twos. I mean, it'll get there. 9.5 would be it. Yeah, I wouldn't. I think it's 10.5 lost spots now. Yeah.
You're going to need some perimeter firepower, and he's clearly starting to feel it. So I took Braylon Mullins again, over 11.5 points for UConn. I'm with you on Terrace Reed, over 24.5 points and rebounds. And here's a guy, he's gone cold from three the last couple games, but he's the leader of the team, senior. He's been here through all the national championship runs, and I think tonight he puts it together. He's not going out with another terrible shooting night like he did the last, and they won in spite of it. But I think Alex Caravan can shoot the ball better than we've seen the last couple of games.
Yeah,
So I'm going to go
he
with
needs
his
to be
points and
pretty
assists tonight. The combo of the two, points and assists. The one thing he's been doing is he's been dropping dimes. He's been dishing the ball to his teammates as well. So Alex Caravan, CMAC for UConn, over 14.5 points and assists. I'm on that.
Should be good.
There you
Hopefully
go.
we get a good one.
Anything else prop-wise, or is that it?
I think that's it.
That's it. There we go.
Really, I looked at a few others, but yeah, nothing I bet yet.
Good stuff. There you go. Let's hope it's a good game. Please give us a good game here. Let's end the college basketball, because to be honest with you, I'm going to say it the way it is. The Crown Championship with Oklahoma and West Virginia yesterday, and the NIT Championship with Tulsa and Auburn, they kicked the living shit out of games on Saturday in the Final Four. Those were better basketball games. I know they're not as big in stature because it's the Crown and it's the NIT, compared to the Final Four, but those were better, more entertaining games. Oklahoma, West Virginia, and Tulsa, Auburn. So hopefully we get a good one here tonight with Michigan and UConn with the national championship on the line. Shout out to the chat: Robert Carlson, Coin LV, Nick Handy, Chucktown 111, Jorge Herrera, Thomas Corbett, AJ Stogstill, Markel, Rich XRD. Appreciate all you guys. Thanks to all that are members of the Hitting the Books YouTube channel as well, because we have members-only shows Wednesday and Friday every week at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. So we appreciate that for the members that join us every Wednesday and Friday. The draw. Robert, you were obviously
I like it. Yeah, we talked about
earlier. I like the draw in that game. 4 straight meetings. Kings and Preds have gone to overtime. So, no argument. I like that draw that you're mentioning there, Robert, with Kings and Predators tonight in NHL action. All right, it's time to wrap this thing up. Best bets?
Yep.
CMAC, what do you got here for best bet?
Yeah, we'll go to just basketball. I mean, baseball, we're going to have that all the time for best bets. UConn, plus 7.5. It's my best bet. I know there's 6.5s. They still cover. Plus 7.5, UConn. Let's get it. Best bet.
We don't do this very often, but I'm going to go with the very same play and the very same best bet. Let's go. Let's make it a dual best bet here on the show for a very rare occasion here. Yeah, UConn plus. Now, right now, 6.5 looks like the best I can find right now. But, yeah, I did bet it at 6. I still like it at 6.5, the current number. I think it's a close. 11-0 against the spread is 11-0 against the spread when it comes to the Sweet 16 and beyond for Danny Hurley. So, that's a track record I don't want to fuck with. And I think after that, it's like, and I always say after the perfect game, it's not easy to play that well a second straight time. We'll see if maybe that gets to Michigan a little bit tonight. But yeah, give me those UConn Huskies. We will fight too. We always see that ad that they keep playing during the NCAA tournament. UConn plus 6.5 here against Michigan as well for me for best bet. That's a wrap. Hope you enjoy the game. Good luck with your wagers. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button on the way out. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we'll see you tomorrow, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, for another edition of the Hitting the Books show. Until then, class dismissed.
Peace.